Welcome to my how to juggle video with objects you may find in your house or outdoors, and also I'm going to be covering with circus equipment as well. Okay, so let's begin, shall we? So objects you may use in the normal way to juggle are these juggling balls. Okay, you may use juggling rings, or you may use juggling clubs, but I'm going to show you how to use other objects that you can find outdoors. So these are some fir cones that I found outdoors. They're very cool for juggling, very cool for learning how to do patterns, and these are some nice pebbles that I found as well, and they're quite colourful and quite cool, and you can use these to learn how to juggle with and do that kind of thing, so it's really cool. And also in your home you may come across some just normal plastic bags. Now in the circus we use juggling scarves that are all multicoloured, and what they do is they slow the time down when you're learning how to juggle. Plastic bags are pretty much the same thing, and you probably will have lots of them in your home. I got 3 different colours of them today, so that makes it easier for you to track the juggling patterns. So with plastic bags, generally you use these indoors because the wind can blow them around outside. Luckily for us today, it's not a windy day. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to get the basic pattern, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to start off with this nice blue one, because it's quite floaty. It's quite a slow thing to learn how to pass from hand to hand, okay? It's really, really nice object to learn how to throw and catch, because it slows time down and it makes it a lot easier to juggle. You can also do little tricks that help to improve your coordination. So we can do a clap, 2 claps. You can challenge yourself, do 3 claps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claps, and so on, and we can keep building up. Sometimes you can even get to 10. Okay, now also with this we can do other things where we can pass it underneath that arm and catch it, underneath the other arm and catch it. So I'll do that one more time. Excellent. We can also do a bit more trickier tricks where you take it behind your back. Now when it gets to the point where your arm hasn't got any more flexibility behind your back, that's the point when we release the bag. So what happens is you give it a flick and we do a catch. And of course in circus we always practice everything on both sides of our body. So we'll try again. As the bag gets to the end of my flexibility, give it a flick and a catch. So that's a bit of a trickier one ball or one scarf or one bag trick that you could learn to do. Okay, and then we would take this on to doing, say, a ball. Okay, so the ball we're throwing back and forward. We can, with a ball, we can do different tricks. We can squeeze it in our elbow, get up and catch it. Up and catch it on both sides. We can put it on our hand like so. Okay, now if you've got an apple, you can do the same thing with an apple. Fruit you can juggle with as well. You may have that in home. So what we do is we go up and we can snatch catch it. Okay, this is a nice tricky good coordination trick to get your coordination up for juggling. Yeah, snatch catch. We can also do what we call monkey juggling. Now this is quite a comical way of juggling. So what you do is you take your ball, you put it underneath your armpit, put it underneath the other armpit. Okay, now very simply, always we do, I've got the ball in my right hand, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my left hand ready, so it's going to make a little platform here like this. I'm going to then release the ball from my armpit, and I'm going to take this ball up into my armpit, take this hand back down, make a nice little platform, and I'm going to drop that ball into my arm. And then as I start to speed up, you can kind of see the bit of humour that I'm implying about it being called monkey juggling. Okay, alright, so as we're doing this, and this is quite a nice way to learn a basic juggling pattern that we do when we're juggling, and it's quite fun. We can also apply the same technique doing it in your neck here like this. Okay, so I'm going to drop it into my hand. I'm going to go neck here like this. I'm going to place, place, and I'm just letting it roll down my body. Okay, so this is quite another gentle way of learning the juggling pattern, which you can see the juggling pattern going across my chest as I'm doing it. Okay, so it's a nice way of learning how to juggle. We'll do what I call one ball dojo tricks, which is where we take the ball, one ball, place it on top of your head, you open your favourite book up in the world. Okay, now really littlies can do this trick pretty easily. So we drop it down. I'll put a side on view for you so you can see that in action. Go there. We can do a trickier version where we drop it down behind our back. Here like this. Okay. Also really nice tricks with one ball. We can do your classic where we do as we're going over like this. Okay. If we go up to standing then. We're going to then try to see if we can then pass it underneath the knee. Pass it underneath the knee here. Pass it underneath the knee here. Pass it underneath the knee here. Now, when we get to the point where we know we can pass it underneath both knees, we can take it here underneath the knee, give it a little flick and a catch. Take it underneath the knee here, give it a little flick and a catch. So we've also learning how to do balancing skills at the same time here. So you can imagine you're on a tight wire and you're balancing on one foot and throwing and catching the ball at the same time. It's quite a fun little thing to do. And again, this trick that we visited earlier behind the back is a bit easier stood up with a ball. Okay. Also, we can do some knee bounces. So you can take it up, bounce and catch. You can take it up, bounce and catch, bounce and catch, bounce and catch. They're a bit more tricky. That's just to push anyone else who's a bit more advanced. Now I'm going to show you some other things we can do. So these are some pebbles that I found, okay? And what we can do is we can learn the juggling pattern of how to juggle with these. It's quite a nice way to do it. So what happens is generally in juggling you have two objects on one hand and one object on the other. So what we're going to do is, I'd say I'm right-handed more than left-handed. You may be left-handed rather than right-handed. So what we're going to do, you pick your favourite hand. So if you're left-handed, just start with the pebbles here and here, and the one pebble on your right side. If you're right-handed, you'd start with the pebbles both on your right-hand side, one on your left-hand side. Okay. So what happens is, we imagine we've got our two pebbles in our hand, like so. But we imagine our hand's on the floor, and that hand's on the floor. Now what we do is you'd throw the first pebble, this is the number one pebble up, you go up into the air. As he's coming down, you throw number two pebble up into the air. And then as he's coming down, you throw number three. And generally, people usually drop at that point. But all it is then is you keep recycling that same pattern. Eventually, you start to learn how to juggle, okay? So this is a basic juggling pattern that you can do with pebbles. We can also do it with fir cones. So this time with the fir cones I'll show you on the left hand side for those lefties. So on your left hand side, same again, you'd imagine you have the two fir cones and the one on your right. And what happens is the first one, number one, we'll start with the first one, that's number one, number two, number three. So number one goes over, number two goes over, and number three goes over. Yeah, and we just keep repeating that pattern. And if we put that into practice without doing it on the floor, then it's number one, number two, number three. Yeah, so that is nice and easy then. Okay, now also we also can do other things with these pebbles and these fir cones. You could imagine that you have a friend here. They're sat just next to you here like this. They've got their hands open like this, and you've got your hands open like this. And you get your fir cones, and what you're going to do is you're going to roll the fir cone over to them. They catch that right into their hand, okay? And what happens now is you roll this one over to the other hand. They catch that one. Now they're going to then roll this one back to you. You catch this one, you roll that one back to you, and you can see as we keep going, we start to get that juggling pattern going as it's passing there and there and there, and the juggling pattern starts to come alive as we're passing the fur cones between each other. And we can do that with little pebbles, we can do that with other things in the house. So what's going to happen is I'm going to just visit in between all this juggling. I'm going to visit a really nice way of using objects to balance in the house, okay? We'll just do a little bit on balancing. This is an umbrella. Now in your home you probably have got some umbrellas in your house. If you don't have umbrellas, you can find all sorts of other objects that you can learn how to balance with. An umbrella is quite a nice one. So generally with balancing objects, we have it on the palm of our hand like this. We watch the top of the object. I'll go a little bit side on so you can see me better. Like that, you're watching the top. Now what we're going to do is we're going to release the object. I'm going to have my hand here to protect my face. Okay, so if it goes into my face, I've got it all protected, and this hand's going to support the umbrella to make sure it doesn't fall into me. Now if it goes away from me, I can catch it there as well. If it goes to the side, I catch it to the side. If it goes to that side, I catch it to that side. But the idea of when you balance any object, you always watch the top of the object. Okay, so my eyes are fixed on the top, my hand's flat, and I start to balance. So I'm there like that. Now the smaller the movements you do with your hand, the easier it is to balance your object, and it only comes with practice. So the saying in the circus, not we can't do it, it's just we need to practice more, okay? Let's go pretty much through everything in life really. So we swap hands. Now as you notice, I've done it on my right side, and now go to my left. So on my left side, same again. I have my hand there to protect myself, and I'm ready, and I'm doing small movements, and I'm balancing the object on my left hand, okay? You might find there's an imbalance between your right and left. You might find your right hand's better at balancing it. Then again, you might find it's your left hand that is better balancing it, okay? So after you've got the simple on your hand balance, we can go to one finger, okay? And again, I've got my hand here ready to protect myself if I need it, and I'm watching the top of the object, okay? Now you can do this with sticks, things that you might find outdoors. So this is a walking stick, but essentially it's a piece of wood that someone's, you know, rubbed down and sanded and made it look all nice and smooth and lovely and nice to handle. It's not got any splinters in it. It's very important. So if you're going to find something outdoors, a piece of wood that you want to balance, really easy, just, you know, give it a bit of a clean up, give it a rub down, make sure there's no splinters in it so you're not getting any splinters in your hands. You get a parent to help you. You can put a rubber thing on the bottom like this, or you can put some nice tape on it to pad it, okay? It doesn't have to be curved. You can have it as just a straight stick, and you know, you can cut the top off, and you know, so we can use different objects that we can find outdoors. So this walking stick, and they're really nice. Sticks are generally quite a good thing to balance, because the longer an object is, the easier it is. The shorter the object, the harder it is to balance, okay? So if you can balance a teaspoon, you're doing really, really, really well, okay? So that's a good challenge. So anyway, we got our walking stick, the same again, we put it on our finger, and we can try and balance that. And same again applies, you always have your hand there to protect your face, okay? Now we can do a bit more advanced tricks with the walking stick, or with your balance object. You can have it on the middle of your finger, you can look up at the top of the object. Now I'm doing everything on my knees. Now it's actually easier to do all this standing up, okay, because you can move a bit more freely when you're standing up, okay. Also then we can do a more advanced trick with this, just for those who want a bit more of a challenge. You can take it up, and then taking it up above your head, stretching out your arm like so, watching up the top of the piece of wood that you're balancing. Can we bring it back down again, back into balance, okay? And that is a pretty nice trick to try and master, okay, for those who really want a good hard trick to conquer. And the really nice thing with the umbrella, because of the weight of it as well, we can then start to think about doing little passes with the umbrella from hand to hand. So we can do a little pop and a little catch, pop and a catch, and a catch. Now if you drop it, it's part of it. If we drop something on the floor, it's normal. It's all part of learning. So we're here, up, catch. Brilliant. So, and the same again with any object. If you throw an object up into the air, whether it's an umbrella, a ball, or a fir cone, as it goes up into the air and comes back down, you want to act like a spring. So you're like a shock absorber, so you take all the energy out and then you can reapply the energy again, okay? And that way you can protect your joints, your wrists and your hands. It's a nice warm day today, but if you were to juggle on a cold day outdoors, it might be good to do some wrist rolls and little flicks with your hand, a bit of rotations like this. Then after you've done these things, do your one ball tricks, or to warm your body up a little bit, okay? So I'm going to move on to show you how to use some of these. Now with these rings, if you haven't got rings, you can use cardboard at home, right? And we're going to throw and catch them from hand to hand. Same again, throw, catch, catch. And with the third one, throw, catch, catch, throw, catch, catch. So that is 3 rings. And with the clubs, it's a rotation from hand to hand. Okay, and then we've got 2, throw, catch, catch, throw, catch, catch. I've practiced both sides. Start on your favourite side. It's here. Throw, catch, catch, okay? We build up to then getting master and juggling clubs. Now I'm just going to revisit back now, just to show you these. We'll see if this works from the outside. It's got a bit windy. If you get a bag and you do it indoors, you pull the bag open like this, so that you put it in a nice, long, tensioned up, like that. Then we can place the bag, so this would be an indoor balance. You can place the bag on your hand and you can balance it on your hand. Now because I'm outdoors, it's a bit windy, okay, so it's a bit more challenging with balancing a plastic bag outdoors, okay, when it's windy. I'll try again. So we're here and we can balance a plastic bag, and you're bound to find them in your house. So you can do this at home, it's safe. If a plastic bag hits you on the nose, it's not going to hurt you. If it falls in the home or hits on any sort, nothing can happen, yeah? Very safe object to start balancing with in your house. Also, I want to just revisit the juggling just quickly again, just one little bit as well. So with the juggling, always remember you've got your throw, okay? So you see if each ball throws off, okay? I'm going to start that again. I'm going to catch the last one. Throw, catch. Now I'm going to catch the last 2. Throw, catch. Now I'm going to catch the last 3. And then I'm juggling, okay? So this is the secret to learning how to juggle. Now just for those who want to think about, if you were to think about how to learn to do 4-ball juggling, the secret to 4-ball juggling is, all we do is we practice with 2 balls on one hand. So you practice going up and down like this, okay? And the same on this side. And then we need to practice going around in the circle, out the way, around in the circle, out the way that way, and around in the circle, in the way. So there's 3 different techniques on both sides you need to master. Then that will help you unlock a 4-ball juggle. So a 4-ball juggle, and that's what all that practice you've just put in, you can unlock a 4-ball juggle, okay? So this is a bit of a step up from the 3. But yeah, so with the juggling, just remember any objects you find outdoors that you want to juggle with. Yeah, we can juggle with all these different objects you can find outdoors. They're quite fun, a bit more challenging. So yeah, I hope that you like these different objects I've found. I hope you have luck in finding all your outdoor objects that you go out there to find. So yeah, this has been how to juggle with normal circus equipment and objects you may find inside the house and outdoors. My name's been Gavin Thank you very much for your time.